Thank you, Michelle. I heard that he was still trying to reach out and help others while he was dying, and that was probably one of the reasons why it was taking longer than we anticipated. He had more to do, not enough time. There are others that would want to come forward, and there are microphones on both sides too, so you don't have to come all the way to the podium. Tell us your name too before you start speaking, okay?
My name's Stuart. I knew Jim sort of peripherally through my connection with Alcoholics Anonymous, and my main experience of him was that he was very quiet in his sobriety and very solid in it. And you just sort of knew, I knew from being around AA for a while, that the people who don't talk all the time, not myself included, are usually the people who know why they're there and what they're doing. And I have a couple of little things, tales to tell about Jim. Russell, his good friend, and he liked to ride motorcycles together. And they went out on a ride recently, and they were both headed downhill to this stop sign, as I believe the story goes. And Russell stopped at the stop sign, and Jimmy was coming down there, and Jimmy pulled on only his front brake. And if you know anything about motorcycles, it's not a wise choice. And Jimmy went ass over tea kettle, and Russell watched him sort of do it and said, "Why did you do that?" And Jim said, "Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time." And that's sort of who Jim is, you know. He's in it the whole way. I went to see him in the hospital not long ago while he was still there, and I said, "How you doing?" He said, "I'm trying to get out of here." And I said, "Yeah, the hospital's a really tough place to be." And he said, "No, I'm trying to get out of here." And I said, "Well, Jimmy," you have my permission to pull your front brake handle as hard as you want, as many times as you want, and get the hell out of here." And then we were talking for a moment, and he looked up and he said, "You know, we have to start working on those hearing aids that you need before I get too busy here." And he was full of tubes and monitors and meters and all kinds of things, and I just thought, that's who this guy is. It's not about him. So that's what I got. Thanks.
My name is Vicki, and I have the privilege of being a home care agency owner, and our caregivers cared for Jim. When we take on the assignment, most of the time it's sign the paperwork and get out there and get the right caregivers in. I wasn't prepared for Jim or his family. But I tell you, when I left on my little trip, I prayed the whole weekend that he would still be there when I got back. Sorry. Because Jim had this amazing ability, and every single one of my caregivers came into my office almost weekly, just saying, "I need to talk to you about Jim." And he had this amazing ability to make you feel like you were cared for. What a gift. What a gift. So I just want to say thank you, Lisa and Jeff and everybody part of the family, for honoring us with Jim, because it was an amazing privilege, and I know my caregivers would echo that. It was just a blessing. We will miss him.
Thank you. Be a time to meet with the family and a time for reception and to continue sharing your memories and your stories and your thoughts about Jim. That is indeed one of the things that is most comforting to families and loved ones when a loved one has gone on, is to hear the stories long after they're gone, not just in the first few days or weeks, but beyond this time into the years ahead to keep talking about your memories, your thoughts about Jim and what he meant to you, and that's also a way for you to honor him even though he is no longer here with us. There are ways that we can honor those folks who've gone on and try to live our best life as they would want us to. I know that what he would say to you today is, thank you, I love you, life is a gift, live it fully every day. And he'd probably say lots more too, but we're gonna go on with the reception. I think Lisa has a few words she'd like to say before we dismiss.
Okay, well, I have the easy part. I just am here to thank all of you. Thank you for being here to celebrate this amazing life that my dad shared with us. Thanks for supporting us on our 5-month journey. Had definitely peaks and valleys. And a special thanks to all the many visitors that we had in the hospital and at his house, the cards, the phone calls, the yummy treats. You guys were amazing, so thank you. And thank you for all the prayers that you've sent our way. And thank you to the wonderful people at Foss who have been so flexible and supportive and loving of my dad. I know he loved working there. Especially Susan and Libby for being such great teammates to my dad. I don't know how he would have done it without you. And thanks to my husband for providing the amazing care page updates. Jeff had this way of, an uncanny way of expressing in words what we were going through and what we were feeling, and thanks for doing that. And thanks to my girls. They have been so flexible and gone with the flow in the midst of starting high school and 7th grade. They would be at my dad's, having dinner at 9 o'clock at night, doing homework, whatever they could do. They were there. And Dad, thanks to you for introducing our family to these amazing people. Everybody that we've met through this process is truly a blessing to us. And we really do thank you. And thanks to North Creek Presbyterian Church. They have been amazing to work with. So we'll see y'all across the way.
We have to close this occasion with a serenity prayer. And I had a wonderful opportunity to have a blessing with Jim and his family and loved ones around his bed a couple weeks actually before he died. And oftentimes that is a blessing that really isn't really wanted by families or by patients until it really is at the very end. And sometimes the patients are no longer able to participate. So it was indeed a blessing to have Jim be fully present to that and to have him give his blessing as well. It remains one of the precious times in my work as a chaplain. And I often do share the serenity prayer with patients who are facing the end of life or caregivers who are facing the loss of a loved one. Serenity prayer was written many years ago, back in the 50s, probably Reinhold Niebuhr wrote this prayer, and AA has taken it on as a wonderful prayer for those going through recovery issues, but it is a prayer for all of us, and especially for those times in our lives where we really come to the end of ourselves and realize that we're not doing this on our own. And so if you know the prayer, I'm going to say the entire thing. Most people just know the first 4 lines, and I invite you to say that with me, and I will conclude with the additional lines of the prayer. So, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking as you did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. May God bless you and keep you. May God make his face to shine upon you and give you deep peace. And we say peace and farewell to Jim and know that he's always with us in our hearts. And Godspeed. So we'll meet in the fellowship hall. I'll lead the family out and you can follow and meet with them there.